Hey there, friends. Welcome to your weekly energy update. Good to see you as always. I hope you have had a lovely couple of weeks, a lovely introduction into the new year, and I'm excited to take a look at the energy for the coming week. So, our first card for the week ahead is our Death card. And this is a very appropriate card for this time of year, which is so dark in the Northern Hemisphere, a time where we are still waiting to see the beginnings of the light returning, even though that officially has started to happen. This is a time of year that tends to feel pretty dark. This is also apropos as we have just started into the new year. And as many of you know, the Death card is about things transitioning, old elements that have run their course coming to an end, new elements beginning to show up and arrive. Sometimes this can be seen as like a metamorphosis or a transformation. I just want to point out some of the symbolism that the Death card, you can see that there's a skeleton riding on this white horse. Now, the white horse in tarot is almost always a symbol of a certain kind of purity. You see it with the different knights. So even though this is death, there's something that is innocent about it. Similarly, the skeleton isn't paying attention to the worldly situations that are happening. It's a force of nature. It's happening one way or another, whether we like it or not. As you can see, the spiritual individual, the priest here, or the bishop, or whatever other deacon this might be, the spiritual advocate here is pleading with death. But even the highly spiritual elements, the great, very aligned individuals cannot make a deal with that which is going to happen one way or another. There's no bargaining with these types of transformations. You can also see that there is a woman who is holding her child, which means that the way that some of these natural movements happen, they're not going to be empathetic necessarily, even to those that are vulnerable. So what this means is that it's likely that there is something that has either begun leaving your life or it has already left your life. And this could be a individual, this could be a circumstance in your life, this could be a particular way of thinking about things. So something is in the process of transmuting or transforming. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to disappear, but how it's been so far is going to change, and it's going to change irrevocably. This isn't like a itty bitty change. It isn't like a little shift into something different. This is the type of thing that goes, oh, this is done and this new chapter is arriving. So for some of you, you might actually spend some time and look into what is it that's leaving my life, whether I want it to or not. And you might get curious about where there's resistance in you. What are the voices in you that are saying, no, I don't want this to leave? Even if it's something that's transforming that you're ready for and that you're excited about, there's likely another part that is in a little bit of resistance. And the reason that I'm saying that is that your second card is the Five of Wands. And as you can tell from the image, there might be a little bit of conflict. Now, in light of what we see here with the Death card, this is likely an internal struggle. It might be mirrored or represented externally in some conflict outside of yourself with people around you, with relationships, with circumstances. But at the end of the day, this probably comes back to many different voices inside that are going, I want this. No, I want this. No, this is the right decision. No, this is the right decision. No, this is the right thing for me in this moment. In other words, there might be some internal tension that some parts of you are saying, yes, finally, I'm ready for this transition. I'm ready for this transformation. While other parts are going, no, 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 no. This is scary. I'm not quite ready for this. I don't know what's going to happen next. Eat, right? So this isn't necessarily a negative card. In fact, I tend to interpret the Five of Wands as a very dynamic situation, a situation where we're learning because we're listening to many different perspectives. There might be some friction, but it's like dynamic friction. It's friction that has growth involved with it. So some of what's being asked for in this type of situation, where there's something that's moving, transforming, or changing or shifting in some way, and there's some tension, can you create more space for the different voices, the different influences that are inside of you to have a voice, to actually be heard? The biggest tension that we can create inside of ourselves is when we have differing perspectives or we have different parts of ourselves and we're denying them. We're going, I'm not going to let this be here. I'm not going to let this be here. This is the way that it should be. But the truth is, if there are other voices, there are other voices. If there are parts of you that are afraid, or there are parts of you that are resisting, pretending like they're not there isn't going to help the situation. Can you create more space so that those voices also get to be in the conversation? Now, this is your final card, the King of Wands. So when the five continues to evolve, it goes through its process along the track of the minor arcana of the wand cards. It reaches its absolute pinnacle with the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is well known for his far-seeing view, his fantastic leadership skills, his integration of the creative parts of himself, and the ability to see and know what's right and be able to take action in that direction. So the only way that we reach this unified perspective, in other words, this perspective that allows us to see clearly what needs to happen next, what's the next right step in life, is that we go through the process of allowing there to be this dynamic tension. We allow the alchemy of listening to the different voices in us to hear and feel the places that are afraid so that they're validated and they can be integrated into the one stream that is at your core, the essential self that is here. The more that those elements are integrated, the more you become the king of your domain, the one that can see the right next choice, the one that has a coherent structure of movement. So some of that, sometimes this can be representative of a particular individual that can give you some guidance while you're going through this transition and while there might be some resistance that's alive in here. This can also, like I said, be an aspect of yourself, you coming into greater clarity. So this could be a week of coming to terms with what's changing, going through a little bit of the wrestling match with, ooh, that's scary, or ooh, I don't know, and then coming to sort of a unified presence. Now, I pulled a couple of cards to go with the King of Wands just to get a bit more clarity. And it appears that as you get more unified around what's changing, there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of insight, a lot of like, ooh, around what's new, what's fresh, what's coming in. So at the end of the day, I see this week as being one that could feel a little bit scary at first as you're coming to terms with what's changing, but what it ends with a lot of like a galvanizing of your energy, your attention, and an excitement for what's next. So that's your energy update for the week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. For those of you that love these readings, come hang out with us in the community portal. I do live readings where you will have a chance to ask your own questions, get some direct insight into what's happening in your world, and also join in with some of our practices. So I hope you all are doing very well, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Take care.